festive season, we kind of forget that people with problems exist. Like, we forget about the hospitals, we forget about the orphanages, we forget about the prisons. People don't get well during Christmas, or they don't get discharged because it's Christmas. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, karibu sana. This is a channel where we talk about everything positivity, do everything creativity as we exalt Christ. As we're still on the Christmas theme, today I want to talk about some of the activities you can take part in that do not necessarily require a lot of money. There are fun activities you can take part in during Christmas that do not require as much money, but are also activities you can do if you're not intending to spend Christmas with your family. I remember a while back, maybe in 2018 or 2017, during that Christmas, I shared a rather unpopular post on my Facebook concerning Christmas, and I was talking about to all those who are experiencing some kind of difficulties during this festive season, because it's not always merry to everyone. We can assume that it's merry, and we could find ourselves wishing people Merry Christmas, yet someone could be in hospital, someone could be having no money at all even to put food on their table. And some people, you might be telling people to spend time with their family, and some people don't have families. They might have lost all their family, or they might not be in good terms with their family. They might not be having money to travel and meet their families. So Christmas sometimes is usually assumed to be time to be spending a lot of money for a start, and secondly, time with family, which is not sometimes practical for everyone. So I came up with activities that first do not require as much money because you might not have it, and secondly is not all about family. I'm saying that because when I posted that post on Facebook, a lot of people were commenting, and I actually didn't think it was kind of viral. Not viral, but kind of viral, but like people resonated with it, and I didn't even expect that anyone will understand me, because sometimes I get thoughts that are a bit weird and not the conventional way of thinking. And that day I just felt something telling me, in as much as I was with my family and things were okay on my side, but I was just thinking of someone who's not having things going on so well on their side. And I was sharing, and one of my friends actually shared that either her mom was sick and later on died, or she shared that her mom had just died, and I think her mom was a single mother, and it was such a bad moment for her. She had nothing to celebrate about. I understand that she can always look at the bright side, but it's really hard for her, that place. And I feel that it's good to know that there are such people. So here are some of those activities, or some of the things that you can do that are unconventional. So the first thing that you can do is bonfire. Bonfire is really, I love bonfires. I really love, because I've done so many of them. Just having stories around fire. Maybe you could have a meal, or even watch a movie. We used to watch a movie when we would go for camps around bonfire. But for Christmas, maybe you can read Christmas. You can read the story of the birth of Jesus around Christmas. Then maybe make a prayer. I don't know, like you can just still make it to fit. And this is something that you can do with your friends, even just like 3 friends. But if you are privileged enough to be with your family, you can also do it. The other thing is hiking with friends. Hiking is a nice activity because personally I love things that make me tired. I don't know whether it makes sense. And hiking is one of them. So you can decide to hike with your friends to maybe even a free place, somewhere that you don't have to pay, or even a cheap place. Most of the places, like in Kenya, go for maybe 100, 200, not more than 500 to hike. Even 500 is on the high, actually below 500. So you can decide to hike with your friend, then do a picnic. Again, maybe each one of you brings some little food or snacks, then you eat together and enjoy the day. The other thing that you can do is to visit the orphanages and children's home. Years back, I've done that with friends. There are groups of friends. You can actually even meet random people on Facebook and join them. Or maybe they're in a group and join them and you visit together. And sometimes you usually think that you are the ones who need, while there are people who need us the more. And by giving, you also receive. All the moments that I've gone to visit children's home, like the children's home and orphanages, I felt full in a way. Like as I'm giving, I felt full. And also it helps me not to look to victimize myself and think, oh, so I don't have family around, so everyone travel, I didn't have money to travel, or people are on vacation, I don't have that privilege. No, you look at those people, sometimes they don't even have food, or maybe they have food and all of a sudden everyone has traveled. There are no people who usually visit the homes to help with cooking or cleaning, and those children are just there taking care of themselves, and you can go there and help in even feeding the younger ones, maybe carrying the younger ones, just serving them, cleaning up, helping them with the cleaning. And it's always a blessing. It's always a blessing. And as you're doing that, God also ministers to you. There's no time that you will ever give and come out empty. As you're giving, God is filling your cup. I remember a certain year, might have been in 2016, on 26th, we visited like one of those homes, and some of us were having birthdays, so we cut the cake from there. We cooked a lot of chapatis, did rice, and really nice food. And you remember during that time, some of them might not be having food. It might have been depleted. So even just visiting and taking, you might be taking one packet of flour, and another person takes one, and another one. And when you bring them together, it's enough to feed them for days. So never underestimate the power of giving. So the other thing is to helping the old. Helping, you'll never go wrong with helping. Years ago, that was a long time ago, in 2007, I used to own my grandmother. She was like my personal grandmother, and it's funny because I was so young, and I'll visit her, clean her house, fetch water for her, maybe arrange her things. She was so old, and I think her family, or rather her children, were old and married and were living away, but she was living on her own, and her house would be so dirty. So I'll just visit and do little cleaning. It was such a small house. Do little cleaning, fetch water, even sometimes prepare a meal for her. And she was so nice to me. She died in 2007. I just think it was old age diseases or old age death. Yeah, so she died, but I really enjoyed doing that. And some of these old people are just our neighbors, so we can just take it upon ourselves to visit them and do something special for them. Some of them might not be having children, or some of them have their children, but the children have neglected them. So you can just go and show love to an old person. Another thing is like sharing meals with a neighbor. That one I shared in the previous video about some of the things that you can do that are centered towards Christ. So you can always share meals with your neighbor. Sometimes you think you have so little, but then it's a lot. Like if you can eat, get full, and have something to maybe store, it's a lot. So you can even decide to even feed one person, maybe the soldier that month you get, or I don't know, like even just one more person, or even the next door neighbor that lives alone. You can just take food to them, and God will bless you, and it will also be fulfilling to you. The two other things that you can do is number 6 is visiting the sick. During the festive season, we kind of forget that people with problems exist. Like we forget about the hospitals, we forget about the orphanages, we forget about the prisons. People don't get well during Christmas, or they don't get discharged because it's Christmas. There are people who've been in hospital for a long while. Some of them maybe don't have people to come and maybe visit them, or even their family's resources are so depleted such that they can no longer even afford a special meal during Christmas. So maybe you can decide, if you're not traveling and you know other friends who are willing to visit the hospitals, you can prepare a little meal, like a nice meal, even if it's just rice and stew, or chapati and a stew, and maybe juice or fruits, and take to those in hospital. Like that would be such a good gesture. Personally, I've never visited people in hospital. For some reasons, I have like people I know, but I've never visited like strangers and stuff. But it's something, if I found an opportunity to do, I'd really love to do, because it's such a nice gesture. So you can do that. You can prepare a meal, then visit those people. Yeah, and it will be a blessing. Like you will think that maybe you are heartbroken, maybe you're hurting in heart, but when you see people who are physically hurting, definitely they are also hurting in their heart. You tend to thank God for the little you have, for even the good health, and it's even a way of helping you realize that you're blessed. Then the other one, which is the last that I will share today, is visiting those in prisons. Those are also some of the people that are usually forgotten, especially during the festive season, because everyone is traveling to their home. But these people, the prison has become their home, and prison food is never good. Those people, my dad was a cop, and I know, I can attest, they don't have nice clothes for Christmas. It can be a depressing time for them, especially if it's someone that has been home a short while ago. You know what I mean? Like you can remember the things you used to enjoy from home. Now you're still in this prison uniform. You're eating this bad food that you ate yesterday and the day before that is tasting so bad. You don't have soap, you don't have personal effect. It can be such a depressing time. But when we visit these people, it really helps them to remember that they are loved and Jesus still cares for them. And also, while we visit such people, when we visit the children's home, when we visit the prisons, but maybe I forgot about the street children. As we talk about the children's home, we should also remember about the street children. As we visit all these people that are usually forgotten in the society, it's good to remind them that Jesus loves them. Because today we are able to help them, but tomorrow we might not be in a position to help them. So it's always good to remember that, remind them that ultimately, apart from the love that we are showing them, which might not be enough to sustain them day in, day out, it's good to remind them that Christ loves them above any other thing. Christ loves them, and He wants them to give their hearts to them. So even as we do that, let's direct them back to the cross, where the ultimate hope is on the cross and not on good situation or on people. We might bring soap to them today, but tomorrow we are not there, or we don't even have it. Yeah, or we might even visit them and we don't have even that soap. We're just there to encourage them. So it's always good to direct people back to God. So those are some of the activities you can take part in during Christmas that you don't necessarily have to do with your biological family, and which do not necessarily require a lot of money, like you breaking your bank as you would if you were to go for a vacation or travel to your village, or throw a birthday. Do you say that? Or have a whole party in your home. God has given us so much. The first thing that He's given us is His own Son, which we can actually share. But above that, He's given us things that we might not think that we have, like hope. And sometimes all we have on our hands is hope to share with the other person. Let us be generous enough to give that. And sometimes it's also love. Like, love costs nothing. When you share love, it will cost you nothing, and you will not run out of it, unlike things like money. So let's be willing to share this Christmas. I wish you all the best as you go into your festive season and as you celebrate, and remember about the sacrifice that God gave to us through His Son Jesus Christ. God bless you so much. See you on the next video. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly consider subscribing. Share down below some of the activities you've taken part in or would want to take part in this Christmas. And let's be blessed. This is another Christmas video. So today I want to talk about some of the